Can a show be excellent and super cute while still having animation and continuity mistakes? There are two answers to that question: yes and definitely. Proof of this can be found in the mistakes we've spotted in BLUEY, like the one in the episode Cinema. When Bandit, BLUEY, and Bingo are buying popcorn and tickets, you can see movie posters on the cinema wall next to them. Notice that the wall is red. But, miraculously, when they're already watching the movie and step out to buy more popcorn, the wall has turned purple, just like the rest of the cinema walls. And if you're thinking they might be in different parts of the cinema, that's possible, but only if the cinema employee who served them initially has a twin brother who also works there, since the person selling popcorn both times is identical to Bandit, which is highly unlikely. Don't you agree? We've gathered several mistakes you hadn't noticed in BLUEY in this video. To discover them all, just stick around until the end. Another interesting mistake that only the most attentive eyes and minds would catch occurs in the same episode. Remember when we mentioned the movie posters hanging on the wall? In the first scene when the wall was still red, there are two movie posters. One seems to resemble the Mario Brothers game with a canine version of Princess Peach, and the other seems to be a romantic movie. But in the second scene when the wall has turned purple, there are two different movie posters. One featuring a little bee, and the other appears to be a detective movie.
Okay, 3 tickets and a popcorn.
And if you're thinking this proves that they are in different parts of the cinema, pay attention to the next mistake. In both popcorn buying scenes, you can see the same drinks fridge with green bottles on top and yellow bottles on the bottom, and the same sign that says $4 on the top shelf. The detail is that in the second appearance of the fridge, there's also a $4 sign inside the fridge. But in the first appearance of the fridge at the cinema, you can see the external sign on top, but none inside. A minor continuity error, but we noticed it. Another interesting mistake happens in the episode Dance Mode. When the healers are in line at the post office, you can see another dog behind them holding a letter. But something very strange happens when Bingo activates one of her 3 dance modes. If you look closely, you'll notice that the letter in the dog's hand disappears and moves up and forward, only to return to his hand moments later. It's like a magic show. Now you see it, now you don't. The episode Magic Asparagus is one of the funniest in BLUEY, where she can turn her parents and Bingo into any animal she wants using an asparagus. The problem is, while Pat, Lucky's dad, was calmly hanging clothes, BLUEY turned Bingo and Chili into fierce lions, and they attack the poor man, I mean the good dog. And you can see he's hanging 1, 2, 3 uniforms from sports teams, as all the shirts are identical and blue. But after BLUEY appears and transforms the duo into other animals, one of the 3 shirts inexplicably turns white. Either it's a mistake, or Pat used an excessive delayed action bleach when washing that specific shirt.
Oh, Mrs. Hilla! Oh, I don't know about this!
Whatever happened, one thing's for sure. If you subscribe now, you'll get to see all our upcoming videos before most people do. And that's great. Just click the subscribe button. The hotel episode is one of my favorites because watching Bingo play the crazy assistant is hilarious. But it's not her impersonation that's wrong, it's what happens during it. When BLUEY as the hotel manager removes the crazy assistant, we see that next to Bandit's suitcase is the toy snake used by Bingo when she enters the room. But when the crazy assistant returns just seconds later, the toy has moved and is farther from Bandit's suitcase. This one was pretty tough to spot. In the episode Horse Ride, we find another small, nearly imperceptible mistake. When Bandit interrupts their horse cart ride to talk to his friend, we see Bingo getting off the cart to smell the flowers. Seriously, I love that little dog. But it doesn't change the fact that it's very strange for the flower she's smelling to move on its own, like a magic trick. Is Bingo secretly into magic tricks? I'm left wondering now. In the same episode, another animation mistake happens again. When Bandit and the girls finally arrive at the park, Bingo is once again the first to get off the imaginary carriage. Seriously, where does this little pup get so much energy from? And it seems like she has so much energy that sometimes even the colors can't keep up with her. That's because if you pay close attention, you'll notice that the spot on Bingo's head disappears for 1 frame when she gets off the carriage and then reappears. Didn't catch that? Take a look in slow motion now. In the episode Baby Race, we also noticed a small error that happens quickly. The issue of the spots on the dogs in Bluey's drawings occasionally leads to some small animation errors. When Bella, Coco's mom, visits Chili, she shows her family photo. At this moment, we can see a small cream-colored mark on Chili's face. But a few seconds later, the mark is gone. It simply disappears. In the episode Takeaway, we noticed another small animation error. When Bluey and Bingo are playing waiter, we see Bluey pretending to take her sister's order. And when she moves her head to follow her dad, who is heading toward the restaurant door, we see that her mouth moves faster than the tip of her snout. It's quite eerie, but also cute, especially when it comes to Bluey. And if you think Bluey's show is not only fun but also super cute, comment down below, #cute, so we can see how many people think like me, because this is one of the cutest shows I've ever watched. In the same episode, we also noticed a small inconsistency that doesn't make much sense. When Bandit is helping Bingo pee in the bushes because she really needs to go, crows attack the girl's dinner spread on the ground. At this moment, we can see that Bandit can't let go of Bingo because she herself says it's one of those really long peas. A few steps away from Bandit, there are some restaurant brochures, but they are much farther than Bandit's arm could reach. To grab them, he would definitely need to take a few steps back, and, consequently, Bingo would leave a small trail of pee. But despite all of this, miraculously, between one scene and another, Bandit manages to grab the brochures and tries to scare off the crows with them. And when he does this, his arm stretches, making it even more evident that his arm could never have reached the brochures. Seeing this, I wonder, is Bandit some kind of stretchy dog? Because that's the only way he could have grabbed those papers. Speaking of inconsistencies, back to the Magic Asparagus episode. There's another one related to Bandit. When Bluey transforms her dad into a meerkat, notice that he runs off in one direction. That's all fine, but shortly after, he appears behind the kitchen counter, which is in the exact opposite direction from where he ran. And if you're thinking he had time to go around the house, rest assured he's faster than Usain Bolt. In the same episode, and in the same scene, we noticed another small animation error. When Bingo, in her pig version, is rummaging through the kitchen cupboard, we see her making a mess and knocking over 2 cans onto the floor. But after she transforms Bandit into a meerkat, the cans instantly disappear. That asparagus must truly be magical. Going back to the Takeaway episode, we noticed another simple animation error. When Bandit enters the restaurant to confirm his order, if we look closely through the restaurant's window, we can see him talking to the person in charge. And we can see that apparently the person has a completely white coat. But moments earlier, we see the same person talking to Bandit, and we realize that they have gray fur on their head. This becomes even clearer in the final scene of the episode when she goes out to deliver the food to them. In the episode Seesaw, when the girls need help to increase the weight on their side, Chloe, Bluey's friend, appears, and she's kicking a pine cone. And this same pine cone stays there, next to the seesaw for a little while. That's right, almost the entire episode. Because when she says it weighs as much as a hippopotamus, the pine cone simply disappears. And apparently, no one kicked it away, especially Chloe, who is up there with the girls. These are the 15 errors that you probably hadn't noticed in Bluey. Videos about Bluey are always so cool. You know what else is cool? These 2 videos that we've selected for you to watch. I heard the one on the right is a lot of fun. Watch it and then let me know in the comments, okay?